Welcome to the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Transport Briefing for Wednesday, April 5th. Over the last 1 to 2 weeks, we continue to have storms move across the Great Basin, bringing above normal precipitation, especially to central and southern areas of the Great Basin. Over the last week, we did have significant precipitation even up north across Idaho and Wyoming. Over the last 2 weeks, again, the most above normal precipitation remains across Arizona, up into Utah, eastern Nevada, and southern Idaho. We did have some drying over the last week or two over parts of western and northwest Nevada, but still some significant precipitation in the Sierra. Over the last 72 hours, the new snowfall has been focused over the eastern half to two-thirds of the region, with the heaviest new snowfall in the higher terrain of central and northern Utah, and even in some of the lower terrain with lake effect snow off the Great Salt Lake. So again, we are seeing anywhere from 6 to 12 inches or more of new snowfall in these areas. The snow depth is indicated on the right, and snowpack continues to be well above normal, above 250 or 300% of normal across much of the Sierra into Nevada, Utah, down into Arizona, and above 120 or 150% of normal further north into Idaho and Wyoming. The satellite loop from this morning shows this deeper trough of low pressure that brought the snowfall to Utah over the last couple of days, continuing to move eastward into the Rockies and the Plains. So we will still have some moisture bringing light snow showers to parts of Idaho, Wyoming, and northern Utah today before this system finally exits. Otherwise, we will have some ridging and warming temperatures for later in the week, but still a weaker system later this week on tap to move through the Great Basin. So again, for later today, this system continues moving eastward out of the Great Basin, but still some lingering morning showers across parts of Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. Otherwise, low fire potential is expected for the foreseeable future. Transport winds will remain light today, but still some breezy northwest winds over parts of northern Utah, again bringing some moisture in, even off of the lake, so we will see some lighter lake effect snow showers today as the system exits. Otherwise, mixing heights will remain low to moderate. Relative humidity will be lowest over southern areas, but certainly no concerns with fire potential. Otherwise, dispersion will remain good over parts of the eastern half of the area where those winds kick up a little bit, otherwise poor over western areas under the lighter wind regime. As we move into tomorrow, ridging moves in across the Great Basin. We will have the next system off the west coast, so some clouds will start moving in over western and northern areas, but we are expecting drier conditions and warming temperatures. Winds will also start to increase a little bit ahead of this system over parts of Idaho and far northwest Nevada as well, with gusts mainly in the 20s to maybe around 30 miles per hour. Otherwise, mixing heights will remain moderate. Relative humidity drops a little bit more in the south, even dropping below 10% in some areas, but again, with the recent moisture, no major concerns. Otherwise, dispersion will remain poor across Nevada and Utah with the lighter winds and start to improve over parts of Idaho and northwest Nevada as that next system along the west coast moves east. Moving into Friday is when this system will move across the northern areas of the Great Basin, bringing some lighter precipitation again, along with cloud cover and kicking up the winds a little bit. We will see a mix of rain and snow with the warmer temperatures in the lower elevations, likely some rain showers and still some snow in the higher elevations. Winds will increase a little bit more on Friday with this system moving through with gusts in the 30s to some gusts around 40 miles per hour, especially in the higher elevations in the Sierra where we will see those gustier winds and up over central Idaho. Mixing heights remain low to moderate. Relative humidity remains similar to what we'll see on Thursday with the lower relative humidities in the south. Dispersion will remain good across Idaho down into western and southern Nevada as those winds pick up and that system moves through. Temperatures will be warming this week. We will see highs still in the 30s today over much of Idaho, Wyoming, and down into Utah as the system today exits, but we're already starting to see a little bit of warming on the western side of the basin with highs in the low 50s. As we move through this week, temperatures will tick upwards. The only exception might be Friday with that system moving through. It might knock temperatures down a little bit, but then they will be picking up back for the weekend, so we will see highs in the 50s and 60s in many areas, and actually highs in the low to mid 80s down over southern areas of the Great Basin. 3-day forecast amounts of precipitation with these systems moving through will remain on the lighter side. Don't really see really heavy precipitation with these systems as they'll be moving through pretty quickly and don't have a whole lot of moisture with them, but will be focused over the northern half to third of the Great Basin. Moving into Saturday, you can see the Friday's system moves well to the east, and we are seeing a little bit more of some zonal flow, so maybe some clouds, maybe some lingering showers up north across Idaho. When we move into Sunday, we will have the next trough moving into the northwest coast, so it will push some clouds, mainly cloud cover, probably not a whole lot of shower activity yet on Sunday, but winds might kick up a little bit. And then by Monday, this system moves east, so we will see a little bit of precipitation over the northern half of the region, but we will see some drier air moving in as well. And on Tuesday, under general trophy conditions, but still drier air mainly across the Great Basin. Winds will be a little bit breezy, so we will see better dispersion, especially over the northern half of the region going into early next week. Precipitation for Saturday through Monday shows again some lighter precipitation moving in with these systems moving into the north. And then looking at Monday through Wednesday, again, mainly over the northern areas as that trough is in place with some impulses moving through. But the southern half of the Great Basin should see at least somewhat of a drying trend. And then the 7-day total precipitation, the best potential for new accumulating snowfall will be in the higher terrain of central Idaho, Wyoming, and also into the northern Sierra. The 8 to 14-day outlook taking us from April 12th through the 18th. Despite the warm-up coming for the weekend, this weekend we will see again a return to cooler and wetter conditions going into the third week of the month. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back on Monday for the latest updates.